People no longer bound by their non-disclosure agreements. What can you now disclose? The owner of the company is an absolute psycho. They have been trying to hire developers for years now, and despite paying really well, they can't keep them. I quit after 3 days. I was trying to help out on a high priority bug on my 3rd day, when I said all the requests to X endpoint are failing, to which he replied, I see 1 out of 500 requests succeeding. Does that sound like all to you? He then called a company-wide all-hands meeting and proceeded to tell everyone how important it is that we all speak carefully and that we don't need fucking retards like me lying to the company, making it harder to diagnose issues. I told him to go fuck himself and quit on the spot. Turns out the company has a big history of this. My boss, who had been there for 2 weeks, had tried to quit the week prior, but was convinced to stay on to meet me. He left a few days after me. Apparently a few people got together and tried to tell the owner that he needs to watch how he talks to people, and he blew up on them about it too. I later heard that I was something like the 10th person to quit within their first month in a row. The sad truth is that the dude actually seems pretty smart, but has been acting like a megalomaniac while he pisses his money away and abuses his employees that are for whatever reason unwilling to leave. Oh, I forgot one other part of this story that makes it really funny. They offered a quitting bonus thing since they were having so much trouble even getting people in the door for interviews due to a ton of bad company reviews. They had in the contract that you would be able to get a few thousand if you left and weren't fired within the first 90 days. Apparently it was the owner's idea. Well, when I told the owner to fuck off, I quickly sent an email announcing my resignation, to which he replied all saying, let's have a phone conversation about this. It would be highly premature for you to leave on your 3rd day. I declined. The quitting bonus was contingent on signing a non-disparagement agreement. A few days after I left, I get an email from the owner's right-hand man sending me a link to an ex-company Facebook group where past employees go to network or something. I had no interest in that, so I declined. But I'm convinced that it was an attempt to get me to break my non-disparagement agreement. If I joined the group and talked shit about the company, he would try to sue for the quitting bonus back. I don't know for sure that's what it was, but it just stinks of that nut job trying to be clever. Also, that quitting bonus is no longer offered on their recruiting page. Why the fuck would you incentivize quitting? I think the idea was to get people to at least give the company a shot. If I recall correctly, for a while they weren't even able to get people to interview, as everyone would look up the name of the company and see tons of comments about the owner and how much of an asshole he is. So they decided to offer a quitting bonus as a kind of money back guarantee kind of thing. I remember the copy being something like, if company isn't a good fit, we will give you a few thousand to help hold you over until you find a new job that is. Honestly, it worked on me. The only reason I even gave it a chance was because of that fallback. But the owner forgot a key part of that plan. Don't be a cunt. McDonald's made me sign a NDA regarding a robbery that took place during a graveyard shift. They made me take a fucking polygraph test because they thought my ex and I were involved, due to the simple fact that I had stopped by that day to pick up some documents. I was a manager. I had business to do. Fuck you, McMurder. There are many questions. Some wonder if I made this up, request details or explanations. I'll give some extra context and I'll head out. I was around 19-20 years old. This was almost a decade ago. I was pretty naive then. By the time I realized this might have been illegal, I mentioned it to a co-manager and she advised me to not bring it up again so as to not involve myself in trouble or damage my future job prospects. I worked at a franchise located in a rural area with an almost entire Latino population, where everyone knows each other. I took home some weekly schedules and production projections for highlighting. They would make me do this highlighting shit weekly. The store manager in charge would allow me to do this on a weekly basis. The area supervisor called to tell me I'd have to take a polygraph test. He mentioned that I could decline taking the polygraph test, but I'd be taken off the schedule and I wouldn't be trusted again. The police showed up to the restaurant, picked me up, held me at the investigation building for around 8 hours, and then they sent me home. When I passed the polygraph test, the area supervisor called again to mention that he appreciated that I took the polygraph, glad to hear I passed, and that he would always have my back. I roll. I left the job at McDonald's in 2014. At least it makes for a story to tell. Hell, The first day of my first job was at a Hardee's. We were robbed. It was really obvious my manager had set it up as there was over $1,000 in my register and she wouldn't swap out the till. Then when the robber was running off she yells out, "Wait, you forgot this," and gets the $50 and $100 bills from under the drawer. Then pretended to faint. After the police interviewed us they just left. She expected me to finish my shift and I just laughed and walked out never to return. Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA will have microtransactions. The NDA was signed in 2016. I was getting more and more worried as the release date kept getting closer and then it happened. The backlash was so strong that EA went down in the history books as the most downvoted comment in Reddit's history. Any more details you can dish out about this? I remember when this all came to a head. Like back then the build of the game I saw wasn't even a game. Everything was in PDF and in the planning stage of development. So I can confirm that the star cards and the whole BS progression system was planned for day one. Also Finn and Phasma were fully developed and playable as early as June 2017. I worked at a gym, and in the showers there was yellow shampoo and blue body wash in pump dispensers. I found out that the only difference between the two soaps was the color. Edit. Memory jog as it was 25 plus years ago. Hand soap was blue. Body wash was green. Shampoo was yellow. All the same. Edit 2. As funny as the replies are, it wasn't an NDA about soap. It was just a generic employment NDA to protect the privacy of members and business affairs of the gym. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You use the yellow shampoo. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You use the blue body wash. You stay in Wonderland and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. I had a similar thing. Not NDA bound, but everyone in our office building thought the soap was bronze. Until I saw the cleaner filling the dispensers with white soap. Turns out the stainless steel dispensers were rusting from the inside out, so the soap was full of rust. The soap was full of rust, fortified with iron. In the IT world, it is often that the piece of internal software or system that gives your company an edge is not quite as huge a deal as it seems. Often it is not much more than a couple of technologies mashed together to automate things in a way nobody else is doing yet, and those things are fiercely guarded. I had cases where people saw stuff in action and tried to replicate it but could not because they were missing just one small piece. A couple of technologies mashed together to automate things. You've just described the whole software engineering. And it's not a bad thing. Actually, true. People underestimate how much of everything in the world is just taking stuff someone else invented and sticking it together to do new things. Which is why software patents are a horrifically ill-conceived idea. Be careful if your pet needs specific shampoo supplied by a pet smart grooming salon. Last I worked there, they weren't letting us order anything and we had to try to track down shampoos from other stores before they'd let us buy anything. Meaning if your dog needed hypoallergenic shampoo or you were paying for an expensive upgrade, it's very possible that some of the products were unavailable. Oftentimes we would have the Furminator shampoo but no conditioner, and the conditioner is what reduces the shedding, so we'd just have to use regular dog conditioner. We couldn't stop selling these packages because that's what they base our performance on. I was considered a bad salon leader cause I wouldn't push these products we didn't have. Also, teeth brushing is absolutely useless there. It does not stop your dog's mouth from decaying at all, and you'd be better off buying an enzyme toothpaste from your vet and brushing your dog's teeth every day. The toothpaste we had basically was just to make your dog's breath seem better for a little while. Oh, and the reason a bunch of dogs died there is because people were likely not following the rules when handling dogs. Almost every salon I worked at had people like that. They aren't supposed to be kenneling your flat-faced dogs anymore because of it. They're also supposed to have a set of eyes on your dog at all times when they are tethered to the floor. Someone obviously neglected to do that a few months ago when that bulldog passed away. The training program their groomers go through is not very good either. They have 4 weeks to basically become full-fledged groomers and a week is spent on computers. There's never enough dogs to practice all of the cuts they should know. They also don't kick out trainees who repeatedly cut dogs. They try to normalize nicking dogs so they don't have to fire people. But there is no reason dogs should be getting hurt at a grooming salon if they follow the rules they're supposed to. The biggest problem is they barely pay anything to help you upkeep your tools, and dull tools cause injuries. With what they pay, people usually can't afford to sharpen most of their tools, so you're stuck with the bare minimum.
Hey, what's up everyone? OKPJ here. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you just saw, remember to hit that like button like it's a thick booty. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this every single day. Also, be sure to check out and subscribe to my second channel. I'll be posting about every 2 weeks there, and the content will vary anywhere from vlogs to life updates to animations to shitposts, kinda like this.
Greetings. This is human content. It is what humans like. Sometimes it is nice outside. Sometimes it is not. Look at the snow that is everywhere. It is cold and it is everywhere.
See you tomorrow. Peace.